Alright, and we're live. Hello, York Region. Hello, my name is Tristan from Pflag, York Region, and I am here online today with baby Bel Bel. Welcome to our Coffee Night Let's Chat for June. This is a Pride Month themed coffee night. We're going to have a drag performance. We're going to have a little chat with baby Bel Bel, get to know them a little bit in their drag and talk about Pride. And while we get right to it, baby Bel Bel, you can take it away.
Let's do this. Gonna get my audio going. All right, everyone. Happy Pride, everybody. I am so excited to be here. I hope you guys are ready for some drag show via my living room. But you know what? We cannot cancel Pride. We will not put a stop to that. There will always be Pride no matter what, even if it's just digital. So make some noise for me, Miss Baby Bel Bel.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. Working, 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 work, 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 work. See me have you work, 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 work. You see me do me dirt, 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 dirt. So me better work, 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 work. When you walk a line, 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 line. Me no care if it matters, dirt, 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 dirt. You gotta work, 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 but you gotta put in work, 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 work. You don't gotta go to work, 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 work. Let my body do the work, 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 work. We can work from home, we can work from home, yeah, we can work from home, yeah, we can work from home, yeah. Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive plan, it's your primitive plan, if you got a big one, let me search it to find out how hard I gotta work, yeah. It's your primitive plan, it's your primitive plan, come on, yeah. To the ladies, ain't no shame, it's the name of the game. Not everybody down to the floor. Here we go.
It doesn't matter if you love him or capital H-I-M, Just put your paws up, 'cause you were born this way, baby.
superstars. She rolled my hair, put my lipstick on, in a glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are, she said, 'cause he made you perfect, babe. So hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. Listen to me when I say I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause I make no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hurt yourself and regret, just love yourself instead. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. There ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. There ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Give yourself prudence and love your friends. Subway can rejoice the truth. In the religion of the insecure, I must be myself, respect my youth. A different love is not a sin, but leave capital H I am. Hey, I love my life, I love this record, and me, I'm on it, rolling like ice. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause I make no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hurt yourself and regret, just love yourself instead. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. There ain't no other way, baby, I was born. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Whether you're broke or evergreen, you're black, white, beige, chola descent, you're Lebanese, you're Orient. Whether life's disabilities left you outcast but leader teased, rejoice and love yourself today, 'cause baby, you were born this way. No matter gay, straight or bi, lesbian, transgender life, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to survive. No matter black, white or beige, chola or Orient, mate, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to be brave. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God made no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hurt yourself and regret, just love yourself instead. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way, yeah. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Born this way. There ain't no other way, baby, I was born. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Hey, I was born this way. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. I was born this way. Hey, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Hey, sing to you. God born this way. Sing to you. God born this way.
So awesome. Thank you so much, Baby Bella, and thank you everyone for joining us here tonight. My apologies. We were joking about technology a little bit earlier and kind of me working in technology and not really knowing how to navigate this stuff. And sorry for those of you who for a good 2 minutes had to, while Baby Bella was dancing, her pants off, was literally, I was literally just like, okay, you're just watching me just awkwardly bubble as I try to fix this video. But thank you so much. If any of you are in the chat are familiar with Zoom and can help me with some tips of making sure we highlight Baby Bel Bel, thank you so much. I would truly appreciate it. Just so I know you don't want to see me, you want to see Baby Bel Bel. That's what we're here for.
Oh no!
I don't want to see you, okay? I don't want to see me on YouTube. So. But thank you all for joining us. While we give Baby Bel Bel a little bit of a break there, just to recover from that amazing performance, just want to talk a little bit about Pflag. So if this is the first time that you have seen Pflag in action or are getting familiar with us, we're York Region's LGBTQ2 Support Education and Resource Network. Pflag, as a brand and as an organization, has a really rich history in queer history and in the queer movement. And here in York Region, we've been operating for over 25 years. My name is Tristan, and I also have a team of amazing volunteers who help us out with our variety of endeavors. So one of our biggest things that we do to help out the community are our support meetings, and we have them once a month right now online on Zoom. We're hoping that we'll one day be able to meet again in person at the Aurora Public Library. But right now they're on Zoom, and you can check out our Facebook page or our website for details on how to sign up for those coffee nights if you haven't been with us yet. And they're for anyone, whether you're on your journey of coming out, whether you're a family member or a friend of someone who is queer LGBTQ2, and you want to better understand how to support them and better understand their lived experiences, then this meeting is really for everyone. And we hope that you all have an opportunity to come on out to either share your own experiences so other people can learn, or you can share what your own challenges or anything that you are going through, and we can work together with the peer-to-peer support network to help you out. And I would like to once again introduce the amazing baby Bel Bel.
Hi there.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Again, thank you again so much for having me. I'm so happy to actually be back to working. I said it doesn't matter if I'm not in front of hundreds of people or thousands of people, as long as I still get to feel a connection and I can feel the energy from the people watching. So thank you.
Oh, I felt the energy. Trust me, I felt the energy. Yeah, I felt the bass coming out of my like my computer speakers like I have not felt them come out of there before. And I was watching James Bond last night, so let me tell you, okay, the energy was for real. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us here tonight. This is about Pride, and this is about all of our lived experiences and all of our intersections. And we are streaming today from the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, the Huron-Wendat, and the Haudenosaunee territories. It's important to recognize that the territory that they've cared for, the land that they've cared for over many centuries, and it's important that we care for each other and for them in that same manner. And speaking of that, and speaking of Pride, this is all about Pride. This is Pride Month here in North America, and why don't we just get right to it and talk a little bit about Pride. So, baby Bel Bel, the big question that I'm sure you've answered many a times over many Zoom streams over the last little bit, what do you think of when it comes to Pride? Like, what does Pride mean to you?
I have had this question before, but I love it. And I feel like I always answer a little bit differently every time because there are just so many reasons why I feel like we celebrate Pride, and it does mean so much to me. When I first moved to Toronto and I went to theater school and met other queer people for the first time in my life, I really got to embrace myself, and I really got to find who I truly was. And, people who liked things that I liked, people who loved theater and dancing, and people who wanted to perform. And, again, that queer community that I finally got to find when I moved into the big city here in Toronto. I'm originally from Pickering, and I do have a very, very accepting family. So I'm very lucky for that. And I have amazing support. But I remember fully embracing myself when I moved to Toronto. And then when I went to Pickering for just little events to see my family, I'd go into Tim Hortons there or a Starbucks there with my bright pink hair or my bright blue hair. And I would get the looks of, oh, that's a very bright character. And this is, mind you, 10, 12 years ago. And I remember saying, oh, I'm feeling judged again. And I thought I had that community. And, we always will still need Pride, because Pride is where you get to truly embrace your queerness and embrace who you are and who you were born to be. And, sometimes we get in our comfort zones of saying, oh, you know what? I live in the heart of Church and Wellesley. So I'm not afraid to walk out of my doors in full drag, and I know I'm going to be supported, but there are still so many communities that don't have that support. So to me, Pride is finding the community that supports you and knowing that there is so many people out there that really do support you, and be free to be yourself.
So well said. So well said. I love it. Now, I think a question that I got last year when there was the story about Pride locally, and I didn't really know how to answer the question in terms of how we celebrate Pride during the pandemic. And we're going through another year, obviously, of this. We're set up here on Zoom. We can't be in person. The last time I saw you in person was at our gala in 2019, which you did such an amazing job there, and I love it.
Thank you.
But how have you been celebrating Pride aside from many Zoom drag shows? Like, what are you doing to, affirm that sense of pride in yourself at this time during the pandemic? Not just last year, but this year.
Yeah. Again, great question. You know, when the pandemic did hit, when it really became that moment of, our livelihoods kind of got taken away from us, especially I know mine, but a lot of my friends who work in the village, a lot of my coworkers who work in the restaurant and bar life, all of us all of a sudden, had to stay indoors and kind of, find new work, find new opportunities. And we were all by ourselves. I live on my own as well too. So it got very, very lonely. And I think for me, what got me through the pandemic and what made me kind of think of my pride during the moments that were often low and often sad, because you were self-doubting if you'd ever, get to experience those moments again with your queer community and your queer family and your chosen family. So I think just, again, sometimes it's easier said than done, but you want to stay connected to your friends and your chosen family, because they're the ones that are always going to be there for you and that will support you no matter what. They know the right words to cheer you up when you're having a bad day. And I'm so blessed to have such an amazing chosen family saying, you know what, Bel Bel, you're going to be back on the stages performing. I basically still tried to stay as creative as I could with making, doing photo shoots and editing music videos online and, just trying to stay in touch with my queer family that I almost didn't see for about a year and a bit. Some of them are still back home in Nova Scotia or Vancouver because they lost their jobs, and they're only coming back they're going to come back in a few weeks. So it's going to be nice to see my family again and really celebrate Pride with them.
So awesome. So awesome. Now, I want to transition a little bit to talking about drag, and we were sharing a little bit about me, about not me, but you were sharing a little bit about yourself earlier in terms of kind of how you kind of transitioned into drag. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit about your journey into drag and why it's so important for you and what you enjoy about it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I love talking about myself. Hello. Well, I went to theater school. So that was the first time I ever kind of really knew about drag or found out about drag, because when I went to musical theater school in Toronto here, I studied about our musical theater history, and we got to watch clips from movies like the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Kinky Boots and Rent. And I was like, oh my goodness, I always thought I'd have to play that comic relief or the villain character, or I'm probably not gonna be able to play that romantic male lead. So finding out these amazing characters that were created by queer artists and seeing that there was drag in these shows, I was basically sold right away. And I remember I did some Rent numbers, and I did Rocky Horror numbers for a talent show that we had at Randolph. That was the school I went to. And it was just so much fun, putting on the heels, putting on the fishnets, putting on the wigs and the lipstick and the lashes. And it was addicting from the first get-go. And eventually I went out to see drag shows in the village, and I just thought it was something that people did for fun. This was before RuPaul's Drag Race era. And I remember going to Zelda's, which is an old bar that used to be on Church Street, and I saw they had Drag Idol, and I saw all these drag queens competing for this contest, and there was money to be won, and people were so celebrated. And some nights I would go to this contest and you couldn't even get into the theater because it was just so busy. So we'd be on the streets, like overlooking to see the drag queens, just the top of their wigs, basically. And I was hooked from the get-go. And eventually I met one of my really good friends, another Toronto drag queen named Allison Chains, who helped me out a lot at the beginning of my drag career. I went to one of her shows, and she could tell that I was, trying to like mimic every move and lip syncing along with her. And she's like, that's a drag queen there in the audience, I can tell. And basically she did Cruise and Tango's Drag Race. I can't remember the year, 2014, I believe. And I went to see her and supported her. And she made it all the way to the finale, did an amazing job. And I said, you know, next year I'm gonna do that. And for that whole year, I did like monthly shows just for fun, like not paid, just practice basically, because practice makes perfect. And I started to like learn how to do better makeup, how to help style my wigs, like basic sewing skills. And a year later, I did the Cruise and Tangos contest and I won the whole thing. And so I was lucky to again have such amazing support. And literally from that night, I remember getting crowned and saying, okay, wow, like this is the first contest I entered and the first one I won. And this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. I just know it. And a few months later, I did the Queen of Halloween contest at Woody's and I came in second place. And other bars and theaters and like social media took notice. And while I was working at MAC Cosmetics, my schedule just kept getting busier and busier. And eventually I leaped into drag full time and I've been, how they like to say, booked and blessed ever since. So I'm very lucky to have such supportive colleagues and people that love what I do. And if you work really, really hard at something and you put your all into it, I feel like anything can be accomplished. So
That's such an amazing story, because you think of drag sometimes and you think of, you know, I don't think people realize actually just the amount of work that has to go into drag. You know, you found it, you led your passion led to doing it full time. You know, you realize that you couldn't have a side job and then do drag at the same time. There's just so much that goes into it, just in perfecting your artistry, you know, probably, you know, not even having a show and practicing your makeup and all of that, right?
Oh yeah, there's so many elements. And the thing is, I think the key to success really is that you never stop learning. Like even now, even through quarantine, you learn new tips and tricks. And I feel like every artist, whether it's visual arts or theater arts or dancing, you want to keep rehearsing and practicing and like, you know, making yourself better every single time. So if you never stop learning, if you stop learning, that's when I feel like it's coming to an end. So always keep learning and learn new things, because you know, there's always things I can improve on and do better. And I think it's that want to always to do better too is what's needed.
There's a particular part of your drag that I think a lot of people connect with, that I think is unique, and not a lot of drag queens do it. You really connect with and do a lot of cosplay. So where does that passion come from?
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I like to say I'm like the nerdiest queen on Church Street. Between collecting wigs and fabrics and makeup, I also collect like a lot of superhero memorabilia. And I don't know, I'm definitely very, very inspired, especially by the female characters out there that were these empowering women. I always just look up to them. Like I was definitely the little kid or the little gay boy who would always pick Princess Peach when she played Mario Kart, or Sonya Blade when we'd play Mortal Kombat. And the pink Power Ranger was always my favorite. And it wasn't just because they were like fun and colorful, but it's because they sparked something in me that was definitely inspiring. I wanted to be like them. I said, these women are, you know, they're main characters in these games. And eventually, like big blockbuster movies took notice, right? We're not just seeing movies with just Superman and Iron Man anymore, right? We're seeing like Captain Marvel, we got Wonder Woman, Black Widow coming out soon. And these are these like wonderful women who are female leads, like WandaVision. I'm obsessed with anything that has a female lead that's a woman who's gonna kick butt. You got me into it. And they really just resonate with my drag. I like to say Baby Bel Bel is basically a cartoon character come to life.
Oh, I like that. And with all the superpowers that would come along with it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, also another interesting part of your drag is you really connect well with, at least from what it seems, with Lady Gaga. Like, Gaga seems like to be a huge inspiration for you, whether it's from a place of fandom or whether it's you connect with her on a level. Share that with us. Kind of, how did you connect with Lady Gaga? Is this something that kind of happened as you started doing drag, or was this a fandom that kind of followed you into drag?
It's definitely a fandom that followed me into drag with me, for sure. I remember the first time hearing Just Dance. I was actually in a car, we were in a drive-through, and I just heard the song Just Dance, and I was just like, this is such a fun song. And I always have had a passion for pop culture, whether it was with superhero movies or, nerdy TV shows. I've always loved pop culture. I actually used to intern at Much Music in the summers, and I got to work on them with a lot of their tours that they did back in the day, like the Warped Tour, and I did the Much Music Video Awards, and I always have found the production side of things very interesting as well. Just because like the lights, the cameras, the way it all comes together is so fascinating because it's, it's such a team of people. And I interned at Much Music, and I remember that's the year that Lady Gaga just kind of came out. I remember her first big hit. She didn't even have a lot of her music videos out yet. She did Love Game and Poker Face. Those are the only videos that were out so far. And it was definitely the best performance of the night. And I remember just her passion of performance art on top of how talented she is. I was like hooked right away. So I went to every Lady Gaga concert that came to Toronto. I would like save up my money. I would try to get the best tickets I could. And I was very, very lucky that I got to meet her really early on in her career. And I remember her just being like, I saw you dancing at the front.
Oh, wow.
And she jumped down, and this is before she was like really that big of a star. Like it was at the Cool House, I think what the theater was. And that's not a big venue for like Lady Gaga. You wouldn't think she'd ever do that nowadays. And she came down, she gave me a hug. And then I went to New York City to see her on Saturday Night Live. I had friends who lived in New York, and I was like, I'm gonna camp outside and wait for tickets to see Lady Gaga, because I just resonate with her so much. My drag name is Baby Bel Bel, which is a cheesy take on Lady Gaga.
I didn't even connect the two, like syllable wise. I thought you just really like Baby Bel Bel cheese.
A lot of people think that. I was in but while I was learning my drag career, I was in a sketch comedy troupe called the Cheeto Girls, and we were all named after pop stars, but with a cheesy twist. So there was Velveeta Von Teese, like Dita Von Teese, and then there was Mozza Fierce, like Sasha Fierce, Beyonce's alter ego, and Brie Brie Price. And then I was the last member to join, and they knew I loved Lady Gaga. Her name was Heidi Brander. She was the one who like created the Cheeto Girls, and she created my drag name too. She was like, I know you love Baby Bel Bel, so I sorry, Lady Gaga. I think your name should be Baby Bel Bel. It's the cheesy take on it. And I was like, that's incredible. I love it. And I did a few drag shows as that persona. And when I did the Cruise and Tangos drag race, the name just stuck because everyone knew I loved Lady Gaga. I was a Cheeto girl. I had a bit of a following. So I just ran with it. And whenever Lady Gaga pulls a new look or drops a new show, because I feel like she's always coming out with new looks and always has something more inspiring. And I always try to replicate it. I always want to be the first. There's something about being the first. And I've made posts where her managers and her choreographers and her makeup artists have all taken notice. And so one day, I've met her out of drag, but one day I'm going to meet Gaga in drag. That's going to be my crowning moment.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, that would be. What would be your first words in meeting Lady Gaga in drag?
Oh my goodness! I'd be like, I've been waiting, girl. Where have you been?
Have you not seen my social media? I have been idolizing you.
Pretty much. But I probably, honestly, I don't get starstruck really that easily, but by Gaga, I would. Because again, she's just inspired so much of my career, right? And her message, like hearing Born This Way for the first time 10 years ago, and it's the 10-year anniversary this year, which is crazy. I remember hearing it thinking, wow, kids are going to hear this song on on the radio, mainstream, where, you know, she's literally saying gay, straight, or bi, lesbian, transgender life, you're on the right track, baby. And it's like, if I had that when I was 16 years old, 14 years old, even 12 years old, I feel like I would have been even more unstoppable. I was like, this is the #1 song on the charts for 12 weeks. I can do whatever I want. So
yeah, it's not June. It is like Lady Gaga has like early started Pride Month, prematurely started Pride Month as soon as that song came out.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's why I felt like I had to do it. I feel like if you're doing a drag show, especially around Pride, you've got to do some Born This Way.
Of course. Yeah, and a lot of people resonate with Lady Gaga in that way in our queer community, especially with Born This Way. Like, she was a queer icon before that album even came out and before that song came out. But when that song came out, like, you know, I know that I was definitely a fan, but not like a super fan. I had, you know, a lot of friends myself that enjoyed Lady Gaga, and then I ended up going to a concert. But as soon as that song came out and then that whole album came out, I'm like, this girl is serious. Like, she wants to support us, and she didn't have to write a song like that, but she did. And, you know, that kind of stuff just makes you feel seen and heard, and that was just so amazing. Now, one more note. Sorry. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, you know, I think she definitely realized early on in her career that the ones that were going to her concert, like, she had some interesting fans who were, you know, so colorful. And she was like, you know what? I got to do this one. This is my gift back to the gay community for helping me sell my song.
Now, on a last Lady Gaga note,
yeah.
You were one of the lucky ones who got a hold of the Chromatica Oreos.
I did.
Yeah. I know this from your social media, and when I saw it, I was just like, you lucky bitch, because whatever. You know what? Because I was really wanting to get a hold of those as well, and I couldn't. But like, what was the experience like?
You should have told me. You should have reached out, because I was, again, I guess people are, I like I've said it enough times, but I am lucky to have such great friends and like community members that people know. Now when like a Lady Gaga drops up a new song or anything, like any type of photo, like I get it sent to me on Instagram by like 10 other people being like, have you seen this yet? I mean, you probably have, but it made me think of you. And I say, well, I mean, I definitely had seen it. But there was this company, it was like some like I think it was like a Rare Snacks, not sponsored by them or anything, but they commented that they had them, and they were definitely charging like overpriced for like what they were. But I was like, I need to try them. I'm just gonna buy 1 pack just to have and just to see. And so I guess I thought that would be my only chance to get them, but I guess other people saw that they were at this place, and I'm not kidding you, 5 other people bought me them too. And so I had all these packs. I still have a pack somewhere because I didn't want to open it. they're definitely like stale cookies that I don't know. We'll have to like, I'll have to get them like put in like glass or something. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have an ant problem, but I want to have these cookies.
And you don't want them to like rot either. You want to put them in a glass case, like antibacterial solution,
Exactly.
without all the air, all the oxygen, any particles, and you need to those like vacuum seal things maybe.
I feel like Oreos probably have enough preservatives in them though that they're probably fine for a couple years.
Yeah, they're probably just like cockroaches. Like they'll just survive anything.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Oh gosh.
Especially the Chromatica Oreos. Like those things look radioactive in a good way.
They were definitely, you could tell that there was definitely a lot of food coloring to them. Like honestly, like I hope Gaga never hears this, but they weren't my favorite, but I liked looking at them. Like they were visually beautiful cookies, but I'm definitely more of a classic. I like my chocolate. But yeah, I was like, okay, I ate when I tried it, and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna keep the rest. But yeah, I like the merch that doesn't expire.
For anyone joining us, and sorry if I didn't mention this earlier, I don't think I did, but if you're watching on our live stream on YouTube, feel free to use the chat feature to pose any questions that you have to Baby Bel Bel. We have a little bit of time left. We're going to have another set of performances shortly, so if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in, and we'll be sure to share them. I've got my own questions, obviously, but this isn't about us. This is about all of you, and we want to celebrate Pride with all of you. So with that being said, I think we might be ready for another performance.
We're gonna do another performance then?
Yeah, I think we'll do another performance, and then we'll kind of wrap up thereafter. That's cool with you?
Oh yeah, totally cool. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking on the chat too. I have my phone here with the YouTube.
Oh, cool.
I was like, are they gonna? Okay, let's see what the questions are. But let's do another number for sure.
Yeah, we'll give some people some time to like. They're probably still starstruck. I'm just gonna say they're starstruck.
No, it is what it is. And I think they can watch this later too if they're tuning in later. So
of course, yes, of course they can watch this later.
Okay, let me just move my stool out of the way so she can have her performance space again.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? It is the technology, Jays. We're not just drag queens anymore. We're drag queens. We're DJs.
You're drag geniuses. Drag geniuses.
You know what? If it's something, you gotta figure it out. To perform, I'll figure it out.
I'm gonna propose that to my bosses at work. Be like, can we have like drag geniuses? Because I'm tired of being, just my own little self. Like, let's just do it. Let's do it.
I mean, I'm seeing the stream. It's looking like it's going well, so I'll take it. All right.
Alrighty.
Mix. It's not Lady Gaga, but I might do one as another Gaga at my second number. But this is another artist I really love, and it's a big mix. So let's do it. Make some noise for me, baby Bel Bel.
Woo!
Made my decision to test my limits, cause it's my business, God as my witness. Stop what I finished. Don't need no holder, taking control of this kind of moment. I'm locked and loaded, completely focused, my mind is open. All that you got's gonna skin on my left. Don't you stop, boy. Something about you makes me feel like you're dangerous enough. Something about you makes me wanna do things I shouldn't. Something about I'm talking to you. See you standing over there with your body, feeling like I wanna rock with your body, and we don't gotta think about nothing.
Woo!
So awesome. And I figured out the key to make sure it's on you. I just had to turn my video off. So,
Okay. Hey, we
So at
figured it out
least
eventually.
yeah, at least we got like, you centered, and that's what, I really wanted about. Not my awkward dancing, because, a year of COVID and being indoors, I don't know how to dance anymore. I don't know if anyone else is feeling this way. I don't know really how to socialize. I don't know how to address people, and I don't know how to dance. Okay, so
Don't worry, it's just like riding a bike. It will all come back, I promise.
riding a what?
Riding a bike. Do you not ride a bike either?
Oh, no, I can do that. I was trying to make a funny. That's all.
No, I just make it. You know what? That's totally fine. But one of my really good friends doesn't ride bikes either. I just invested this year for the first time ever in the city bike, and it's the best thing I ever did. I love it. Don't have to worry about getting your bike stolen. It's just there.
I used to ride bikes a lot, or my bike a lot when I was in high school, just like biking to school or biking to my friends' places and all that. And then I just haven't done it for a long period of time. And then I got a bike again recently, like a hand-me-down, and I do it every now and then, but literally like my old man body right now, I'm just like, like every time like I'm going up like a moderate hill, I'm just like, oh gosh, this is.
I understand that for sure. No, I remember the first couple of days after biking, I was like, wow, like my legs and my butt are so sore. I was like, ow! But it got used to it. You end up liking it. You're like, okay, I got you. Again, everything will come back to us eventually. Once we see more people smiling on the streets again, everything's gonna come back to us. I promise.
I was gonna check out the chat here, see if we got any questions. I think people are just really taking you in right now. That's what's happening. People are just loving you right now.
Take it in, honey. Taking all this pink.
Now, something that I think a lot of people, hopefully they're aware of it, but if not, something I wanted to highlight is you're not just an expert lip syncer and an awesome drag performer, but she's an actress. Yeah, so you were a part of a series called Queens on CBC Gem, right?
I was, yes. That was actually so much fun. We filmed that in 2019. I remember reading the script and being sent it by my agent and saying, is this something you want to audition for? And right away, I resonated with the character. Like, they gave us all of the character breakdowns and said, pick who you think you should audition for. And I read all the character breakdowns, and the character that I auditioned for was the one I ended up getting cast in. Her name was Babs. And I also thought she was like so much like me. I was like, Babs, baby Bel Bel. There's some similarities there, even in the name. And just like the quirkiness of her, that she always strives for perfection. And so, yeah, and it was a full audition process. Like, I went to theater school and I've done some film and theater in the past, but when I jumped into drag and started doing that full time, I kind of took a step back from the film and the theater because I was getting these amazing opportunities with drag. But then I said, oh, this is like my two worlds colliding, literally. So I auditioned for it. I had a callback, and then I had a second callback. And I actually went on vacation a few weeks after. This is, again, pre-COVID. So I was actually on a cruise to Bermuda. And right before I lost my Wi-Fi signal, I got an email saying that I was being offered the part. And I didn't even have time to respond to accept it, because I was in the middle of the ocean. I was like, oh my goodness, like what if they give it to someone else? And then 3 days later, they were like, do you still want it? Like, we're happy to give you. And I was like, yes, I want it. I was in the middle of the ocean. And I got back from that vacation, and then basically it all happened. Film happened so quick. Like, you get cast. I got back from vacation. My day after I got back, they had me in wardrobe, because it's there's a whole team, like a costume designer, everything. And 3 days after, we were filming. Like, this, I was learning lines on vacation, and it was so much fun. And it debuted last Pride, actually. It's on CBC Gem, so it's free for anyone who wants to stream it. It's still streaming. When it came out for basically months, it was actually one of their most watched shows. And we're keeping our fingers crossed. I know that the second season has been written, and I haven't actually, I don't, that's all I know. And we're just kind of waiting for the thumbs up. So please go watch CBC Gem Queens. And if you like it, like their Instagram, and you know, the more attention we get, the more likely we'll get a second season. But I know it's been written, and I know it's gonna hopefully film at the end of summer. And I love being on TV. It's just like being not even being on TV. I love being on set, is what I should say. The feeling of actually filming, that process is so magical, because you know, you see the cameras are there. There's so much that goes on a TV show that you never really know, because you know, you just see it and you're like, oh, there's just 2 actors there, but really there's like 30 or 40 people there. The funniest story I have from that is that my scene, if you have seen it, I won't give any spoilers, but there was a bit of a stunt, a self stunt that I had to perform. It was me running in a marathon to chase a boy that I have a crush on, which is something I would probably do. And I have a bit of a stunt scene, and I did all my own stunts. And, it wasn't that big of a stunt, but it was during a massive snowstorm. They did not expect snow. So the whole 2 weeks that they filmed the 10 episode series, it snowed every single day. So it became like a winter event themed show unintentionally, because Canada, after all. That's why if they do a second season, they're like, we're filming it in the summer. But every time when I would like fall in the snow, usually, you know, you fall in the snow, you get back up, that's another take, but it's TV, it's the magic of that. So I had a whole team. Every time I'd fall, like these 2 like strong men would pick me up, and then I'd have a team of people like blow drying my tights and like putting on a Canadian Winter Goose jacket. I felt like I was Lady Gaga. I was like, whoa. I was like, I want to keep falling. They're like, and they kept being like, are you okay? And I was totally fine every single time. But I'd be like, oh, it's so much work, but I'll do it for my passion of art. So yeah, check out the show. It's hilarious. All 10 episodes are hilarious. Every episode highlights a certain character. Mine's episode 2. And then the finale, we're all in the finale.
I love your episode because like your character, like I think every character actually on the show just like embodies like just what it means to be like a drag queen, just over the top personalities, completely delusional, but like in the best way possible. Totally. But despite the delusion, your character is still very relatable. Like, I'm not going to spoil it, but you know, like at the beginning of the episode, near the beginning of the episode, there's a scene where you're with one of your friends and you're in a cafe, and suddenly you see your crush, and then like you see kind of like how close they are on an app that we will not name. Clearly has some
it was a made up app name, because we couldn't get the rights to like the other one.
but the color palette was down, I must say.
That's what I'm saying. I remember when they handed me the phone too, like there was an actual like iPhone prop, obviously, where they made it not look like an iPhone as well. But they were like, yeah, just hit this, swipe this, and do this. And it was an app created to look like something. And it was just crazy to even see that. Like, and then seeing the profile with my photo on, I was like, what is this? It's just like, it's not real. It's just like a made up thing.
But I remember like seeing that scene, I was just like, oh my God, like I'm pretty sure I have done that myself. Like, just like, okay, all right, time to hide. Bye-bye.
Yeah. There's definitely those moments, or especially if you've seen people that you've ever chatted with, you're like, oh, that's them.
The panic of like, oh my gosh, they're seeing me in daylight. They're seeing the real me. Oh my gosh.
No filters allowed in real life.
Alrighty. So there's someone who's been actually watching the show. August has said, I related so hard to that scene, and you know, anyone who has done online dating over the last little bit, would probably, I think, relate to that. It's just so good, and you played it so well.
Oh, thank you. I hope you get to see much more of that character. Hopefully there is a season 2 that gets greenlit by CBC. So if you like it, again, watch the show, check it out, and we'll get to explore more of Babs, which I'm very excited for, because the second season, if it does get approved, it's going to be like a full series, so like much longer episodes. And so this is how we start. This is how everything starts, with a little project that just gets bigger.
Hopefully, come on. Like, we need the Schitt's Creek version of the Church Wellesley Village. Like, come on.
Exactly. And I mean, I haven't been told too much, but I do know that the writers are some of the same writers from Schitt's Creek. So, fingers crossed.
So as we wrap up for the night, I wanted to make sure that people know where to find you and what you're up to over the next little bit. I know that you started doing some in-person drag shows again, which is so awesome with what's opened. Share a little bit about how people can get connected with you and where to see you.
Yes, thank you, definitely. So again, we're slowly working our way back to the live stage, which I cannot wait. I am still the longest and current reigning Miss Cruise and Tango. So if you do ever want to catch a show for 19 plus, Cruise and Tangos on Church Street are open from Thursday to Sunday. I'll put all this information for all my shows on my Instagram. So if you liked what you see today, if you've never met me before, and if you have met me before, all my info will pretty much be in my stories because I like to tell people where I'm going to be. I'm doing a really fun event on July 5th. Tickets are on sale for that now, and it's Pride Yanka. So it's with the winner of Canada's Drag Race, my really good friend Priyanka. She asked me to help celebrate her 4th year Dragiversary, and it's with Jada Hudson, Ecstasy Love, and myself. And tickets for that.
Sorry, what's her name again? What's her name?
It's Priyanka. You know, I've known her for so long because we did Spice Queens together, right? So
yeah.
I was Ginger Spice and she was Scary Spice. So we toured like all of Southern Ontario for about a year together, and then did the Sky Dome and the Rec Room and the Aquarium, and then she got on Canada's Drag Race. And you know what? Maybe one day you'll see me there. Who knows? We'll see.
I didn't want to pose the question, but like honestly, I have like as soon as the call came out for Canada's Drag Race the first season, I was like, wonder if we'll see Baby on there.
You know what? I think eventually, hopefully, I mean, fingers crossed. Again, it's a whole casting process, as you can imagine. But the world loves Drag Race, and I can't see that show ending anytime soon, is what I would say. Like the UK is already about to show their 3rd season, and they've already casted their 4th. So I thought Canada's Drag Race was even better than a lot of the other ones. So I know we'll get more. So we'll just have to stay tuned, and hopefully you'll see me there eventually.
And something that you mentioned earlier when you were talking about your journey of drag, you were saying that you were learning how to sew a little bit as well. And as soon as you said that, I was like, girl's gonna be fine.
Yeah, you know what? Well, that's just my thing. I used to be such a, again, like I said, I'm a nerd. I love pop culture. I used to love reality shows like Survivor and Big Brother before Drag Race was even a thing. So I was really competitive in that. And I always said, if you're going to be on Survivor, you better know how to make fire, because that's what they need to do, right? And if you're going to be on Big Brother, you need to be good at lying. And if you are going to be on RuPaul's Drag Race or Canada's Drag Race, obviously being a fierce queen is, you know, that you got to do that to even audition. But there's little things that you kind of have to go in there with. Like, you know, there's going to be a snatch game. You know, there's going to be a design challenge. So especially during quarantine, you know, I bought that heavy duty sewing machine. I learned how to use the one that will actually keep my costumes together, because I'm not going to get sent home first, and I'm not going to have a costume fall apart. That just cannot happen.
All right, well, baby, our time has come to an end for our stream, but thank you so much for being so generous with your time and for joining us here tonight. I know a lot of people have enjoyed this. I know a lot of people are going to enjoy this on our repeat views.
Awesome.
Hopefully, hopefully we've celebrated Pride well with all of you, and you've been able to, have a little piece of pride in your homes today. Thank you very much for joining us. Any parting words, baby?
I mean, I guess just a huge thank you to you for having me, and everyone at Pflag, and everyone who's been watching the stream today. And honestly, everyone, still have a safe and happy Pride. Again, no one can cancel our Pride. We're still always going to have it, whether it's Pride Week, Pride Month, Pride Year. It's Pride forever in the queer community. So let's get it, honey.
So well said. Thank you so much. And see you all next month. Take care.
Bye.
All right, and yeah, we're wrapped. Woo!